Let's just skip the pleasantries. If you watch my channel, you know exactly who I am. And let's just get to the chase. Far as the matchup between Michigan and Texas. I was in Ann Arbor last week for the home opener. It was a night game. It was a wonderful environment. Throughout the game last week when Michigan faced Fresno State, our offense is a joke. Our offense is a liability. Our offense is an absolute laughing stock of not just the Big Ten Conference, but the whole entire college football landscape. I knew that Michigan was going to be in trouble when they played Texas. And I already fixed in my mind. I already braced for it. I already accepted it. I've already just was in reality when I knew that Michigan was going to lose against Texas. I didn't know by how many points, but I knew that Michigan was going to lose to the Texas Longhorns. I knew Michigan was going to lose that game. So I didn't set myself up for a disappointment because in my mind, I mentally prepared myself. I braced myself. I accepted it that Michigan was going to lose against Texas. I'm a Michigan fan. So, of course, I watched the game. Of course, I'm going to support my team no matter what. But what I saw from our offense, they look worse than when they played Fresno State in week one. The offense does not stay on the field long enough for our defense to catch a breath. And anytime the offense cannot stay on the field, that's going to put wear and tear on the defense. It's going to put wear and tear on the defense. Because it seems like the defense had to constantly get back up. They don't stay on the sidelines to catch a break because our offense have all these quick, easy 3 and outs. And all of a sudden they got to give the ball back. How can your defense stay fresh if your offense cannot keep the defense on the sideline long enough for them to take a break, for them to take a breather, and for them to go out there and do their job? For what I saw today, it seemed like that Warren Davis is not ready to be the starter. We don't have any capable quarterback that is ready to be the starter. What happened to Alex Orji? What happened to all this talk during the offseason about Alex Orji making strides or Alex Orji is winning the position to be the starter? What happened to Alex Orji? That's all I want to know. What happened to Alex Orji? It seemed like the few plays he does make, it's what? Not what? Real small gains of yards whenever he run with the ball. Alex Orji, I don't know if it's the way that they're utilizing him or he's just that bad. That it doesn't matter if he try to throw the ball or he try to run. It seems like he's slow. Most people thought that he was going to be better than a Jalen Monroe. Milrow. No. Jalen Milrow. He's faster. And he has better accuracy with his throws. I can't say that about Alex Orji. The body work I saw from him, the little bit of body work that I saw from Alex Orji is not the one. He's not the guy that's going to help Michigan win this year. And Warren Davis, he's not a good option either. He remind me of a Nick Sheridan, or he remind me of a John O'Corn all over again. That's not good. That offense that we're seeing as Michigan fans right now remind me of the Brady Hoke era. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but that offense that I saw for the past 2 games, that offense reminds me of a pre-Jim Harbaugh era when Brady Hoke was running things when he was in Ann Arbor. And if you're a Michigan fan, you don't ever want to hear that. That's when Michigan was an absolute joke. During the Brady Hoke era. Our offenses, it's beyond despicable. The play calling gotten worse. Predictable. Michigan only scored 12 measly points. And Texas scored 31. The way Texas dominated Michigan, Texas manhandled Michigan in that game. Some people might call it curb stomp. Some people might call it dog walked. It is what it is, people. That's exactly what happened Saturday when Michigan played Texas at the Big House. Texas dominated that game from start to finish. Our defense did the best they could to help Michigan chances, at least to make the game competitive. But the weakness on that Michigan team is the offense. You got 2 quarterbacks. They can't play. They can't play the position well. Warren Davis is either he's overthrowing the target or he's underthrowing his targets. He's not poised in the pocket. He's throwing picks. He's throwing interceptions. Now, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, this is his first year as a full-time starter. And there will be growing pains. We understand that. Okay. We were so spoiled as Michigan fans to having J.J. McCarthy making plays. But J.J. McCarthy is not with the team anymore. He's moved on to the NFL. So now we're stuck with 2 quarterbacks that really is not worthy to be starters. By the way they play, the way that they execute the plays. Our 2 quarterbacks, Warren Davis and Alex Orji, they're not the answer to Michigan. They're not the answer. They're not the answer. I'm sorry, folks. If you want to call this an offense, this offense is not even worthy to even be called of Michigan's offense. This is pathetic. It's embarrassing. The way our offense is playing, they can't even put freaking points on the board. And those points probably came from my kicker. The first 6 points that Michigan scored was from our kicker, Dominic, whatever his last name, Vlada, whatever his name is. If you have to depend on the kicker to put points on the board for your team, that is not a good sign whatsoever. It is embarrassing. Offensive line play. It's atrocious. Donovan Edwards. I don't know what's going on with him. He's not making an impact in the game. And matter of fact, I'm starting not even say that Donovan Edwards is the number one. He's not the number one tailback. I got to say it is Khalil Mullings that's going to be the number one tailback, because they showing the head game Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards, I'll say it like this. It's our offensive line that is not doing their job to make it easier for any of our tailbacks to do their jobs. The only bright side that I see on our offense is Colston Loveland. And how many times you going to use him? He's being overused. And you think other teams is not going to figure that out? That the number one target for the QB is Colston Loveland? They going to find a way to double team him and get him out the game. So that means they're not going to have a choice but to find somebody else to throw the ball to. But that's what happens when you lose so many people, so many key players in 1 year. Especially last year, Michigan was senior heavy on players. They was all seniors. That's what happens when you lose a lot of talent and you lose practically your whole entire coaching staff. This loss today against Texas, that is a confirmation that Michigan is not a playoff team. Michigan is not even worthy to be called a playoff team. That offense, the way that our receivers dropping balls, dropping passes, fumbling the ball, I thought they worked on that stuff between games to improve. It looks like to me they gotten worse. And the good news for Michigan, at least in week 3, is that they have Arkansas State next. Oh, that don't bring me joy. If Michigan beats Arkansas State, so what? They're not a ranked opponent. But folks, that's a reality. If you're a Michigan fan, I temper my expectations for this team this year. For Team 145, I temper my expectations. I see this team being a 7-5 team this year. 7-5. 7-5. The way our offense is playing, they don't give me confidence whatsoever about this team. And the way I see it, Michigan need to go ahead and consider this year as a rebuilding period. Give our young guys some time, some live reps to put them in the game so they can get some live reps to build their confidence and to build their skills. And let's get ready for next season, because this season, Michigan is not is our offense is practically, I think, the worst offense in the Big Ten this year. If you want to rank offenses, Michigan is the worst, in my opinion. Coming off from a national championship. And that's the part right there that'll make you shake your head like, are you serious? But it is what it is, folks. Our defense, they did the best they could. But if your defense is not getting enough rest, then really your defense can't help. Your defense cannot bail you out because the offense cannot stay on the field long enough to put points on the board, or to at least give our defense a rest so they can try to at least help the team to stay in the game. Our offense is a liability, folks. Win for a long season. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Win for a long season. And it's not going to be a fun one. But if you're a Michigan fan, the sooner you accept the fact, the better that you can sleep better at night. Because you tempered your expectations. I tempered my expectations. So Michigan losing this game was not a shock to me, because already made up in my mind that Texas was going to win that game. And it was going to be in a dominating fashion. And guess what? Texas dominated it from start to finish. Quinn Ewers is that him in today's game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Quinn Ewers would be considered as a Heisman candidate, because Quinn Ewers, he was on his P's and Q's today, folks. He already called us the team up north because he was with that team down Columbus before he jumped into the portal and he went to Texas. And now he's a Longhorn. And so he still considers us as that team up north. But that's fine. Hey, it worked. It worked for him. We played against a team that I think had the most returning starters in this year's season. This season. I think Texas had the most returning starters. Michigan is not Team 144. This is we are a different Michigan team. And it shows. But Michigan will get better. I don't know how. It may not be this year, but I tell you what, Michigan better do something. Sharon Moore tenure at Michigan is going to be a real short one. Because when it comes to wins and losses, Michigan doesn't have too much tolerance when it comes to dealing with losses like this. We are a premier program. Not just in the Big Ten Conference, but in college football. Michigan is that premier program. So Sharon Moore, I know this is his first year as a full-time head coach, and I know that we as Michigan fans, we got to temper our expectations, and we have to give this man a chance, because he is facing a a team that lost a whole lot of starters and a lot of personnel. And it's going to take a while for this new coaching staff and these players to mesh together. But there's only so much time that Michigan will allow. Because it's all about the wins and losses when it comes to Michigan football. It's either you have what it takes or you're out the door. Don't take it personal. But yeah, I don't see Michigan beating Oregon this year. I think Oregon is going to be the best team in the Big Ten this year, by the way. I don't see Michigan beating. I don't even see Michigan beating USC this year or Washington. We might beat Michigan State. But then again, anything can happen. And of course, the November 30th game. The one that you don't circle on your calendar if you're Michigan. You cut it out of your calendar. And from the way things look for right now, I think they're going to get their revenge on us at the shoe. I hope not. But the way this offense is constructed right now, I don't see it happening, folks. I think Michigan is going to be 7-5 this year and go to some crappy bowl game. But hey, it is what it is. So Michigan fans, Harbaugh said before he left Michigan that don't get too used to this, all this winning, because he knew that Michigan was going to face a year like this that is practically a rebuild. Let's call it what it is. It's a rebuild. It's nothing to reload. It's a rebuild. But the good news is Michigan been through this so many times, and Michigan made it out. So this is no exception. So stay encouraged. Stay faithful to your team. And as always, hail to the victors. Go blue. Until next time, stay blue, my friends.